Hello guys. Before I start the video, I want to say one thing. If Levy were to roast me, I wouldn't even really care. I'd be happy because again, my videos would get more attention and stuff. That'd be awesome. So I go like, and people always ask me, Bugsy ran on Leafy. Leafy's just doing his own thing. His comedy is all based on sarcasm and satire, and y'all need to calm down before anybody gets their fucking feelings hurt. Y'all need to calm down. But before I, but this, it's not the defending Leafy stuff is not what this video is about. I'm doing another video on that pretty soon. But I would love to talk about one of my characters and their backstory. And no, it's not. And no, it's not who you're thinking. Let's talk about Bugsy the Toon. See, unlike the other characters, he was like other than my other characters, which are characters that are previously established in other series. Bugsy Toon is one of the few, well, not one of the few, the other original characters I made. It came from a time when I was still like tracing and drawing little cartoons and whatnot. And basically, Bugsy the Toon actually did start out, oddly enough, as a dog. Because, I like dogs. I like cats too, but, this is when we started getting dogs, and basically that's how it went. So, basically, when I first got Toontown, which I think was a little bit after before I started drawing, but I always did have this idea for a blue dog. Now, Bugsy Toon, unlike yours truly, he technically doesn't cuss. Like the only thing that's close to him cussing, I always thought like he'd have like a little word balloon with like little little symbols and stuff. Like you know what he's saying. Like you could just count the little squiggles and images, but you basically know what he's saying. Like that's his like thing. But really, he doesn't truly cuss. But when I had but in the video where I made the sorry guys, like I'm good, but still I have a cough. What the fuck is up with my body? Honestly. But basically, yeah. So, anyways, that's why in the video he actually says, watch your language, boss, because he doesn't really cuss. And it's because he's in Toontown. It's just the fact of the matter he doesn't really like technically full on cuss, but he does cuss in that little word bubble thing because that's part of his character. Um, the thing is, he's like if you mix the best parts of Bugs Bunny and the best parts of Daffy. Not Duck Dodgers Daffy and not Looney Tunes Show Daffy, which those are pretty good Daffies. And people who hated the Looney Tunes Show, fuck you guys. It wasn't that bad. The Looney Tunes are sick. I love the Looney Tunes Show. I even love the part where Bugs had new gloves and he was starting to act all different and shit. I love that. I mean Lola's fucking dad called him Thugs Bunny. I thought that was awesome. But none of you liked it. But basically, like I said, he's like the best parts of old Daffy and the best parts of Bugs Bunny. Current Bugs Bunny, no, not so much. Like Wabbit, Although Bugs Bunny is a little funny in that, but he's not like as funny as he was in the older cartoons. So I'd say more old Bugs Bunny. He was actually supposed to have like more of a voice that was more not like more Brooklyn, but he's supposed to sound like a tough guy. But with my voice, he sounds more like me. And basically, in the video, it's just he just has my regular voice with with slight tweaks. You don't hear it in the video because my voice is pretty fucked up right now. But basically, yeah. But his backstory is basically this. Um, he arrives in Toontown right when the Cogs are like taking over. Basically in Toontown, but in Toontown rewritten, even though he wasn't really there, he supposedly was there. Uh, fighting out the Cogs, and what he technically says to most of the tunes that are fighting the Cogs, he's like, "Oh, this place is exciting. I'm gonna stay here and love it." He flat out hates the Cogs because being a toon, being a toon, you got to make people laugh, and Cogs don't laugh. Though he basically puts it upon himself like it's a mission to make the Cogs laugh because that's his thing. He wants to make the Cogs laugh, even though most tunes say it's impossible to get them to laugh. He still wants to try. You know, he doesn't really have he doesn't really have a girlfriend because because in terms of like Disney stuff, he'd have a he have a like a gender bent double like Minnie Mouse, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay away from having a girlfriend. I'm just gonna keep to myself. So yeah, and in my head canon, he does hang out with like Goofy and Donald. He doesn't really hang out with Mickey because like him and Mickey really don't see eye to eye. He's like you said, he's like Bugs Bunny, and he always likes to one up Mickey whenever he can. Like, oh, you're all nice and heavy. Well, I like throwing bombs. Here, like he really loves messing around with Mickey. And guys, that doesn't mean I hate Mickey. It's just like a part of his character. It's like, here you go, Mick. He goes. He's like, he messes with Mortimer. He's like, Mortimer, you just want Minnie. That's stupid. Like seriously, do you realize that Minnie kind of looks like Mickey a little bit? It's kind of weird that you would want like a chick version of Mickey. You know what I mean? Isn't that kind of weird? Huh? Isn't that kind of weird, Mac? You want Mickey? You want Mickey as a girl? Hmm? And that's the reason why you don't see Mortimer in Toontown because he runs, and he's like, oh my god, he runs out of Toontown basically. He jumps off like the page or whatever. Some say Mortimer joined the Cogs, and they roboticized him, making him into a cog. Others say he got erased after Bugsy the Toon tells them the truth. But either way, no one has seen him. Um, like, and he thinks Clarabelle is cool because he basically gives all the tunes like cloves and various things with jelly beans. But he kind of hates Clarabelle because like in House of Mouse, Clarabelle gossips. He's like he actually says to Clarabelle in one of my in like my headcanon, he actually says to Clarabelle one day like, Clarabelle, do you have nothing else better to do than just gossip on people? Is that like he's like, is that like the only thing you're capable of doing? Selling people shit, and he doesn't say shit, but you know, he's like selling people crap and gossiping. I'm just like, you know, well, when I thought about this, I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty good. Clarabelle like basically resigned herself into selling just stuff because she knew that Bugsy Tim was right. I mean, she doesn't like she hangs around with Goofy still, but when she looks at Bugsy Tim, like Bugsy Tim just goes, "Well, it's good that you're doing good for yourself." What else? What else? He hasn't fought the chairman yet, but like through the Toontown little Toontown slash Bugsy Toon and mock up Bugsy playthrough. Hopefully, when he's at a higher level, and he has more friends, Toon friends, we might actually do a video where um, Bugsy Toon actually goes head to head with one of the boss cogs. But the thing about that is, I gotta really build up my gags before that can happen. And I'm hoping to try and get my pals involved, so they wanna, if they wanna play Toontown, we can all just do that, have some fun, and maybe one day I might review Toontown rewritten. A lot of people say, Bugsy, why don't you like Toontown Infinite? I say, one thing I would want to say, because I've been doing some research on Infinite, and they do a lot of fucked up shit. So I chose the one. I chose the one that's least likely to do shit. Um, Least likely to do fucked up shit because I heard a lot of bad things about Toontown Infinite and how they like to handle themselves and how they like to do things. So I just went with it. I went with rewritten. And if any of you got anything fucked up to say to me about that, I don't really care because Toontown Rewritten, Toontown Rewritten, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things you don't want to. Toontown Infinite is just one of those like you hear a lot of bad stuff about it, so you just don't want to try it. And everybody and their mama now is trying to make their own little Toontown thing. But I like Infinite because it actually has like more stuff going. I mean, rewritten. I like rewritten. I like rewritten because it has more stuff going for it, and they actually made an event when they first came out about the mayor of Toontown. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't it like when Toontown was still like a Disney thing before Toontown rewritten. Wasn't Mickey like the mayor of Toontown? I'm pretty sure he was. The weird thing is like in the Toontown playground thing, he's usually walking around like, hey, Bugsy the Toon, or hey, this person. I guess they just took him out because they didn't want Disney to be like, you guys can't use this. You guys can't use this. So I guess that. But I hope you liked me talking about Bugsy the Toon a little bit. Again, like the cartoon heroes thing, he came out of my mind. Came out of my mind onto a piece of paper. So yeah. But he's like the embodiment of all, like all these old cartoons that I love, like old Disney cartoons, and just Bugs Bunny, Chuck Jones, Tex Avery stuff. I don't even want to mention it what he does when he sees a hot tune. He basically does the whole eye thing, and his eyes fall out, and he rolls, and he could roll. He's like, "Oh, where's my eyes? Where's my eyes?" I attribute that to like Chuck Jones stuff. So yeah, but that's Bugsy the Toon's backstory, basically. Um, he's just the character I just basically love thinking like, what does he do? His basic job is just destroying cogs. Like he doesn't have like a actual job, but Toontown, like the Toontown center keeps paying him in jelly beans because in Toontown that's the currency. So he doesn't really he basically befriends everybody because he's kind of the character that just kind of befriends everybody, even though he can be a little bit crazy with the pranks. People love having him around. The only tunes that really truly hate him, it has to be Pete, and even though he doesn't, even though both, even though Pete and another character doesn't even appear, but just for the sake of argument, Phantom Blot hates him too. Because in like um, one of my old stories that I wrote out, um, this was like during Epic Mickey, but Phantom Blot, like there was this one story I made where what if Bugsy the Toon was in Epic Mickey, and oh yeah, he helps Mickey. He basically beats the ever loving he basically beats the ever loving shit out of Oswald for a minute. Like he literally slaps him like, "That's your brother. That's your brother. That's your brother." And then um, the freaking thing is that literally Bugsy the Toon breaks the fourth wall, basically telling Oswald that he was owned by another company, and he's like Big Daddy Walt had to let you go because he couldn't keep you. He made Mickey because he had to make he had to do something else. It was not the fact that he didn't love you, and it's not the fact that he didn't love you. It was the fact that he couldn't keep you. So stop acting like an entitled little bitch and help him. Which Oswald kind of does, but like in the actual game, he does know that the wasteland got fucked up because of Mickey. Um, he's like, Nick, I know I fuck with you, but this is he doesn't say that either. It's just like little again little symbols and stuff because like I know I with you, but basically you messed up, right? It's like he's like we're and he looks at Bug Oswald basically looks at Bugs and Toon and he basically says, how can you justify all this that he's done? Can you break the fourth wall and tell me why this is? Well, making it back in his old days were mischievous. Apparently. It just looked and they all beat Phantom Blot. And there's even a part in the story where Mickey and Bugsy the Toon go up against the freaking It's a Small World after. Small World, the Small World clock. He's like, you know, basically, like I said, um, Bugsy the Toon is kind of like all these different cartoon characters, and he even has my personality. So guess what he did to the freaking clock? He's like, let's shoot it with thinner. I hate you, you. I will shoot you with thinner. I want you to be a race and for B for a gun. I don't care. I don't care. You suck. I'm gonna destroy you with thinner so you can be forgotten once and for all. It's a small world, kinda sucks. You will get destroyed by this thinner. Bugsy, why won't you stop? Because I'm gonna shoot it. Mickey, don't stop me. Just one of those things. I really kind of enjoy. Like, I don't even know where the original part of that script is, but if I ever find it, I will read it to you. Also, weird thing is, in the Wasteland, there's like an animatronic version of Bugsy the Toon. He's wondering how is this even possible because he was made way after Mickey was made, way after this whole thing was made. And there's even a Beetleworks version of him too in my story. He's going like, how am I even in this? It's just it's pretty funny. I gotta be honest. But that's pretty much all I gotta say. I was gonna do Saturday afternoon, but this is like the only thing I can muster right now, since my voice is still on a state of repair. So I really can't do much right now. But I hope you enjoyed this.